Hi everyone, happy Wisdom Wednesday. I just wanted to pop on today to do a little bit of a different video, more focused on some astrology. I'm not an astrologer, but I'm a big astrology enthusiast, and I have some pretty deep reflections about the signs. And I've talked a lot about astrology in my videos, and I like to educate about it and talk about it, just based on some of the readings and the research I've done, and the more experiential research I've done about astrology over the last few years. So today I wanted to talk about Scorpio. And I know we're not in Scorpio season, we're in Gemini right now. And just had the Gemini new moon, and we're now onwards towards the Sagittarius full moon. Yay for Sag! But I did want to talk about Scorpio. I don't know why, but it popped into my head the other day. I was thinking about the sign a lot. And in my last session with my fave astrologer, Erin Fogel, which I've talked about before and recommended, she's awesome, so go see her. We've talked about Scorpio and Virgo, and she had mentioned to me when we were talking about them that they are some of the two most misunderstood signs in the whole zodiac. And I really believe that. I can maybe talk about Virgo another day, but Scorpio is one I'm really familiar with because my Venus is in Scorpio, which basically means like my the planet that rules any kind of relationships, and even the relationship with myself, is ruled by Scorpio. And in this reading, I was really kind of frustrated and feeling like I misunderstood myself, and I didn't quite feel connected to Scorpio and Venus, and I don't really feel that. I know a lot of people talk about Scorpio as being this deep feeling sign and very intense. And I don't feel like an intense person. And she tried to help me see that, in fact, I am. But it's maybe something in like my conditioning throughout my life that has been kind of almost like turned off, like a switch has been turned off. So I just want to kind of like demystify some of the perceptions around Scorpio that I think the patriarchy has. And this is one of the reasons she said those are two of some of the misunderstood signs, is that they're both feminine signs. Virgo is an earth sign and Scorpio is water, and that is very feminine energy. So so if you're thinking about Scorpio, someone was saying to me the other day who's a Scorpio, she said, well, what can you tell me about Scorpio? And I said, the best way to understand Scorpio is if you kind of put in your mind's eye a lake or a pond that is dark, and you're kind of approaching it, and maybe it's like in the middle of a swamp, or even just like a lake at night that's really dark blue, and you're approaching it and you're seeing it, and you're kind of like mesmerized by that like dark, thick, rich blue color, and you can't quite see the bottom of the lake, and it's very mystical, and you maybe want to see to the bottom but you can't. It's like the deep mystery that's underneath that lake. That's Scorpio. So I think that we need to start getting a better understanding, and I think we're starting to get there with people that are Scorpios or people that have a lot of Scorpio in their sign. Scorpios are often portrayed in society as obsessive, vengeful, nasty, vicious, possessive, conniving, very dark creatures. And for sure, we all have our shadow signs. And I think that we have our aspects that are shadow, and we have our aspects that are light and our dark, right? But I think we need to start seeing the light side, or the more positive side of Scorpio. And Scorpio can be, just like that body of water, very deeply mystical. So often people that are interested in the mystic arts, who are maybe body workers, who are healers, intuitive practitioners of some kind. They're very deeply sensual. So again, thinking back to that water and like what you feel when you're swimming at night in a dark lake under the moonlight. That is Scorpio, that feeling that you get of like the water on your body. And Scorpios have a way of of tuning into their senses very, very easily. It's like a switch that they have on all the time. And it's deep. Like it's, Taurus is a very sensual sign, but this is like something that runs so deep and they're so passionate about. So I often find that the Scorpios I know like to talk a lot, but they like to get into like deep conversation and make like intense eye contact with you. And it's not a bad thing. Like that's a really beautiful thing about Scorpios is that they're some of the most empathetic people that I know that just like feel you as if, and they're so empathetic that like they feel your feelings in their body. And it's something that Scorpios need to work on, or anyone who has Scorpio in their chart, of like maybe, yeah, not taking on someone else's emotions so much and learning how to, at least if they're going to take on what you're feeling, they can transmute it and release it out of their bodies. Another thing is that I've noticed having Scorpio in my Venus and just knowing this one aspect of Scorpios can see an issue or a problem from a mile away. They can read people like books. They can see things that other people do not see. It's like they see through the veil and they see through the bullshit and they want to cut through that bullshit. And some people might see that as like an aggressive tendency, or like, again, where the patriarchy's twisted it, but it's actually like a beautiful gift of intuition that's like a fine-tuned skill that they're just born with. And it was, for me, it was so confusing for a long time because I would work in certain environments. I noticed a lot in my workplace where I'd like sense some bullshit was up. But I looked around, I'm like, how is no one else seeing this? Like, it is right in front of my face. But they wouldn't, right? Not everyone has those deep perception skills. So note that that's a gift. If you are a Scorpio and you're frustrated and you feel like maybe you don't understand, oh, there's Kabuki, you don't understand your own qualities, or you're frustrated with that, or no one else can see what I see, hone it. Own it, baby. Like, own the fact that you can see the bullshit and find a way to call it so that you're not offending, or I mean, sometimes offending people is okay if it wakes them up a little bit, but you're not hurting people or harming people. The other thing is they can be kind of the shadow side of Scorpios. They can be a bit brooding and they can like really hold on to, if you've hurt them, it's hard to then for them to turn around and forgive you easily. They kind of hold on to stuff. Again, like that deep, it's almost like the water has roots and it just goes so deep and it holds, and there's a lot there. There's a lot there. And sometimes there's more than meets the eye. Like you might see that surface of the water, but underneath there is like so much there, so much knowledge, so much richness, so much passion, so much feeling, deep, deep feeling. Very passionate, very like, again, when you're in that water and you're swimming in the water and it's at night and it's dark, how I feel like sometimes like the water is hugging me and it's enveloping me. So again, another like, Scorpios can tend to be a bit possessive about their partners and get a little obsessive. And even if like the partnership is like so wrong for them, they'll get attached to one thing and like cannot let it go. And it's like, this is the person for me and I'm going to pursue them. And then when it doesn't work out, it's very devastating. And then it also swings the other way so that it's very hard to get over. It's very hard to move past that issue or that relationship. Whereas some other signs like Aquarians are amazing at just like, it's gone. I don't need it anymore. It doesn't serve me. I just don't hold on. I let go of what doesn't serve me. They're very good at that. They can be a little bit dismissive, I think, and a little too aloof in the sense that they do need to not hold on, but like spend more time with the thing instead of just constantly trying to move forward. They're a very forward-thinking sign, but Scorpio is as well. Like I said, because they're it's like the all-seeing eye. It's like the all-seeing sign. They're visionaries that way, and can transform. It's the phoenix, the mystical sign associated with Scorpio is that phoenix rising from the ashes. So they can really take problems and really deep, dark pain that they've experienced. I've noticed a lot of the Scorpios that I've spent time with have gone through a lot in their lives, and they're able to take that and just friggin' rise to the top. And it's like, whoa, where did that come from? Who is that new person? So they can transform into new people all the time and become a new version of themselves and like shed off that old stale water. So water sign, very deep water, Cancer and Pisces are other water signs, but they're water signs that are maybe more surface, or they're deep thinking, but in a different way, in a different perspective. Whereas Scorpio is very deep. So deep, intense feeling. I probably should have posted this in like end of October, November, when we're moving into Scorpio season. But for whatever reason, Scorpio is running through my mind right now, I guess because I'm working through some of my own stuff around Scorpio. So I just wanted to share that today as a reflection for you to think about. And hit me up, let me know if that helped you, if you have any signs, or if, go get your chart done by Erin, and then you'll know a little bit more and find out if you have where you have Scorpio in your chart, if you have it in a major planet, and what that means for you. And just don't let the patriarchy make you think that you're this terrible, awful, mean witch that is vengeful and possessive. Not at all. There's lots of beautiful aspects about Scorpio, for sure. There's the shadow sign aside as well that we need to know about. But I think there's other things that we need to talk about with that sign that we can learn from and apply it to and start to value in our society. I think all the things that we maybe don't value enough in society are the beautiful aspects of Scorpio, like the mysticism, like the deep thinking, the deep feeling. We don't want to feel our feelings. We want to just push them aside. And Scorpios are like, no, no, no. I want you to feel that. I want you to go into that and transmute it. So I hope that helped. Have a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed Kabuki crying in the background and saying hello. And we'll talk to you next week. Ciao.